Behind every corporate firewall lies petabytes of unstructured and unmanaged business-critical data. IBM StoredIQ provides a solution to identify, analyze, and act on that data. In today's demo, we will see how an HR technical analyst and a research asset manager use IBM StoredIQ for active data intelligence as part of an acquisition between two companies. We will first start with Preston, the human resources technical analyst who uses filters to identify and act upon HR employee records. We then move to Carly, who as the research asset manager works to identify high-value assets obtained through the acquisition. Preston Hunter is responsible for managing corporate human resources information. In this position, he needs to ensure that all of the regulatory requirements for the acquisition are met, while also ensuring that key, sensitive, and valuable personnel information is consolidated in the HR repository. Preston begins working with all of the data that was acquired. In reviewing the data map presented, he can see the amount of data by category based on the relative size of the boxes that are presented. While this is interesting, he will need to reduce the volume and size of the data that he is viewing to efficiently begin his analysis. To reduce the volume of data, Preston uses the Auto Classify filter and selects the Human Resources option. Auto Classify is based on a classification engine that provides greater intelligence in categorizing files, in this case with a confidence level of 80%. Preston knows that he will be working with these HR records throughout the acquisition process, so he creates a new HR info set. An info set is a snapshot of data at a certain point in time that consists of one or many indexes. Info sets allow Preston to avoid the details of where the data is found and focus on what matters, the data itself. While filtering has identified significantly less content to work with, Preston still needs to refine the info set further before he takes the actions that are required for this acquisition. Using this new info set, Preston creates filters to identify former employees whose files should not be acquired. By using filters that focus on date, last accessed and modified, and full text search arguments for former employees, he can locate and consolidate the information. These records will not be merged into the repository, and in fact will be deleted before the acquisition closes. Because the unique set of content requires regulatory compliance, Preston creates a unique ex-employee info set. Upon review, Preston's filtering has resulted in a targeted info set of ex-employee data that he will be able to work with. To ensure regulatory compliance, Preston creates a compliance report that details his actions to forward to the legal department. Preston is now ready to act on the former employee's HR records. He deletes the files according to regulations that dictate that the records should not be kept. Preston verifies his actions by checking that no exceptions were generated while he deleted the ex-employee info set. He then returns to the HR info set that he created earlier and notes that the total objects in the info set has decreased by the number of objects that he has just deleted. He will now work to consolidate and transfer the remaining HR employee records as part of the acquisition. Preston then initiates the action to consolidate these HR records into a holding location. By opening the execution log, Preston can verify that his actions have completed as well as view any exceptions that occurred. With this, he completes his responsibilities with the acquisition's human resources information. As a research asset manager, Carly Adams is responsible for identifying and managing information that will provide competitive advantage in the marketplace. Carly has received access to the information from this recent acquisition. As both companies were working on similar research, rapidly integrating this information into her R&D organizations will be key to the corporation's business success. Carly begins her analysis by creating a filter to review storage volumes owned by the Research and Development Group. Knowing that this info set will be used regularly in the future, Carly creates a new R&D information info set that contains designs, specifications, benchmarks, etc. She notes a range of email, word processing documents, and spreadsheets. This will all be of value, but today she wants to identify and establish a repository of intellectual property specific to mobile payment automation. She begins by creating a new filter designed to identify content related to mobile payment automation. Carly reviews the results of this filter. She selects an overlay to identify where specific patent portfolio information is contained within this view. Carly is presented with a heat map view of the mobile payment automation information. She notes that a significant amount of patent information is available as word processing documents. This confirms her expectations and targets her approach. To streamline the flow of information to her architects and designers, she filters the current info set using keywords that will likely identify highest value IP information for this area of the business. As this info set contains the materials that she will act upon and make available to her team, Carly creates a new info set for mobile payment, automation, patent, and disclosure materials. Carly does a quick review of the new info set. She sees that the majority of the information, as predicted, is contained in word processing documents. Having identified and created the mobile payment automation IP info set, Carly takes action by moving this content to a repository where it can be easily accessed by her research and development teams. She then validates that the information she identified and the actions she has taken have been processed successfully without exceptions prior to moving on to her next task. Today we have seen how a business technical analyst and a research asset manager were able to use active data intelligence to better understand, analyze, and manage information that was obtained through a recent acquisition. For more information, please contact IBM. Thank you.